Hello, we are going to talk about the COVID and the elderly. Like all of us know, on March of the last year, home confinement was decreed in Spain, caused the COVID-19 global pandemic. And this event caused that all the people, but a lot of elderly left in home without company, and in many cases also homeless. So now it's very important that we have to help our grandmas and granddads for make their life a little bit easy. My part of the work is the home confinement. And I choose 3 news. My first news is the confinement in Spain. £40, 7 million will pass the quarantine alone. Almost half are elderly. Almost half of single-person households are made of widowers over 65 years, a figure that has only increased in recent years, and that is coupled with another aggravating factor. The Spanish population is increasingly again around these years. Of the around more than 4 million people who live alone in Spain, and almost 43% are over 65 years of age. Of more than 18 million homes that exist in our country, more than 2 million is the elderly people. In this part, it's very important to remember the persons who live in home nurses, because finally it's very important. So, in Spain, approximately 3,000 people live in residence, and more than 1 million people over 80 years of age live alone in their homes. This is very, very much. A scientist named Van der Leyen anticipates a scenario in which the de-escalation of confinement will probably be gradual by the age in groups. It's like first for the people race. Faced with this reality, which would have been partly avoidable with more means of health care and greater sensitivity, the proposed solution condemns our elders to great loneliness. So for my last news, I choose a testimony that is a young girl, I don't know, 30 years, and she told her situation of the COVID with her father, and the girl told. On Thursday of last week, we learned that the girl who took care of my mother the first 50 days of August tested positive in a test COVID. We immediately called servers to report the situation, and his answer was, isolate your parents for 40 days alone in the home, and if it's possible, just communicate with there for the necessary. If they have symptoms, we have to call again. Logically, we have done the COVID test on the mother and the father, and the person who take off the father and the mother, sorry. And these three persons was negative in the PCR. So, if you pay 40 euros for a PCR and in less than 12 hours we have the result, the usual corrective, the one we also pay for the test, has also tested negative, and the scare has come to one of them. The final conclusion of the girl, and I think it's the same point of view that a lot of persons who live in Spain, is how the famous people like football players, singers, or maybe politics have a lot of free bar for PCRs and test COVID, and the common people like you and me or the old people is more difficult, and the politics don't do anything.
Okay, excellent.